Good morning. Do you remember about a week ago or so, something like that, there were deer that got into our yard? And I had talked about how I just wanted to approach it as this is the best thing that could have happened. For some reason that I didn't know at the time, this was the best that could have happened. And so here's a week later, a bit of an update. What it turned out happened was that the winter snows had taken down a fence, and we didn't realize that. And so the deer getting into the yard showed us that the fence was down, and early enough that not a lot could get eaten. Not much was budding or growing at that point. We lost some tulip greens, and a lot of kale and some cedar, but that was, that was about all that they really ate. So they served us this great gift of letting us know before, the roses came up and the fruit trees were leafing or flowering, that there was something we had to fix. And not only that, but where the fence had come down was the place where we had planned to put in a gate. And we just hadn't gotten to it. You know what life is like, right? There's so many things. We live on a acreage, I guess you'd call it, and there's just constantly so many things that need to be done. And so we never got that done, but in the process of fixing that, we got the gate in. So now we have an actual gate. I can walk down to the marsh. It's very exciting. And these things it feels like these are gifts that came from the deer getting into the yard. And even more than that, it feels like they're gifts from my willingness to look for the good in that. How much would have happened even if I had been angry or upset or whatever, that the deer had been in the yard, that the deer could get in the yard? And how much better the result might have been because I was creating space around that and looking for the positive in it, looking for the benefit. It's impossible to say. It really is. And how much is perspective and how much is the world, the universe responding? It's impossible to say. What I can say for certain is that I was in a much happier place when I approached it like, this is a good thing that's happened. This is the best thing that could have happened. And I'm pretty sure that, we still would have fixed the fence eventually. And I don't know if we would have gotten the gate in. I think that happened because the universe was reflecting back to me my openness and peace and gratitude, I guess, with the process. It reminds me of something else that happened. Can I tell you a little story? A while ago, I used to have this, it was quite a while ago, I guess, but I used to have this friend of sorts, and she had this pattern of being very close with someone for a decade or so, and then breaking it off with them because they were, in her words, too negative. And I had seen this pattern repeat over and over and over in her life. And the funny thing was, when we were friends, sorry, cat hair of the day. I had the hardest time being positive with her. When something was going on in my day that was really good and I wanted to share it, it felt really like I was pushing against some kind of a wall. It was just so hard to actually say, this is what's going on and it's great and I'm happy. I can't explain that. And I thought for the longest time, I thought that was just me. Like, what is it going on with me that I can't say that stuff to her? And everything I would try to say positive, it would somehow come out more negative than I actually meant or felt. And I was watching myself doing this. You know, there was a part of me watching my mouth going, what's going on? I don't understand. And it actually took me quite a while after she broke it off with me because I was too negative, in her words. And I thought, when she did that, I finally got it, that I was just a mirror for her own negativity, that she'd never realized, and I hadn't realized either. That I was just a mirror for her own negativity, and all of her friends were mirrors for her own negativity. And when that got too much for her, she would break it off and start with new friends. And I kind of laughed because I thought, oh, those poor friends, they're going to go through this with her too. And it took me a long time to really see that. And it took me being outside of it. You know, when I'm telling you about it, I'm thinking, this is so obvious. Everyone would see that, right? I'm sure it was really clear to you what was happening. But I really, inside of it, couldn't see that. You know, you get caught up with energy vampires and with narcissists. And especially if you're empathic, it's so easy to take on their reality as your reality and think that it's true. And for a long time, that's what happened. But the connection here is that at the time that I lost that friendship, it was a really valuable friendship to me. I really loved our connection, and I loved the things that we could share. And there was no one else in my life that I could really share the same things with. So I was very sad about that. And at the same time, I can see now how it was the best possible thing that could have happened, because at the time I was so sick and I was pouring a lot of energy into that other person. And I really, when the relationship ended, I actually felt like stones had been lifted off of me. I felt so much lighter and could give myself the care and the energy for healing that I had been just flooding out into this other person with nothing coming back, virtually nothing coming back. So I was just draining myself and my energy and my well-being, and I hadn't even realized it. So then the relationship kind of exploded, quietly exploded. And I was very upset and sad, and yet it didn't take me long to see how that was such a blessing to have happened. It was just so good for me. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is realize that even though these things happen and we may feel sad about them, or it may hurt in some way, it can still be the best thing that could possibly happen, you know? And the best thing that could possibly happen may have some sadness or loss or pain or something around it, along with it. It's not perfect, but the more we can step into that place of allowing this and just trusting, having faith in life that this is the best possible thing that could have happened, it lightens those other reactions. It lightens the grief or the hurt or the anger or whatever, unpleasant emotions may come along with it. If we can open up to that, it just opens up the space to so much more relief in some cases, and joy and gratitude, and there's a real lightness and wonderful feeling in being able to trust life. And this is a practice that allows us to step into that even more. That's my little cat. He's not little, he's big, but he's very itchy these days. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's a little uncomfortable. At any rate, is there anything more that wants to come through on this today? Not really. Just there's this feeling that I wish I could share with you that blossoms open in the heart and in the body. This tingly, happy, light, expansive feeling that comes with being able to allow for whatever happens to be the best possible thing. And I'm sure that part of our well-being around that is just in ourselves and our own perspective. The story that we're telling ourselves is so much nicer and feels so much better. But also, I'm really sure that life is reflecting that back to me. The better I get at that practice, the more life is reflecting back to me these wonderful results of the things that happen that would not happen. I can just, I can't explain that, but I can feel the resonance of it, that it wouldn't happen if I hadn't created that opening. So, for our practice today, I think we did this last time, but let's do it again because it can't get enough practice. See if you can't find the benefit in the bad things, what we think of as the bad things that happen in your day. Or even before that, see if you can't expand your allowingness. Expand your willingness to let this be the best thing that could possibly have happened. And just, give that little bit of faith to the universe. And then just watch. Because it's amazing. It's amazing what happens after that. And that will give you a nicer day, I'm sure. I really hope that for you. I always wish you the very best of the day. And I think this is one step that will really make a big difference in having that come true. So, with that, I will wish you all the best, and I look forward to hearing your comments about how this practice goes, or anything you might want to say about our chat, or whatever comes up. It's always fun to see we're sharing this path, right? This process. So I will chat with you again tomorrow, and until then, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.